phenomena.
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Who are they? Where are they from? And what is their intent?
All questions that immediately come to mind with the mention of UFOs.
A Pentagon report is detailing a dramatic increase in UFO sightings, more than 350 since 2021. Many of them are explained as being drones, birds, or weather events, but about half of them remain unexplained.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA.
My gosh.
They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
This video taken by the Navy showing what he describes as pyramid-shaped UFOs flying over the USS Russell off the San Diego coast in July of 2019. The Pentagon has since confirmed that the video is authentic.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection. Late this afternoon, a bulletin from New Mexico suggested that the widely publicized mystery of the flying saucers may soon be solved. Army Air Force officers reported that one of the strange discs had been found and inspected sometime last week. Our correspondents in Los Angeles and Chicago have been in contact with Army officials endeavoring to obtain all possible late information. Joe Wilson reports to us now from Chicago. The Army may be getting to the bottom of all this talk about the so-called flying saucers. As a matter of fact, the 509th Atomic Bomb Group headquarters at Roswell, New Mexico, reports that it has received one of the discs which landed on a ranch outside Roswell. The disc landed at a ranch at Corona, New Mexico, and the rancher turned it over to the Air Force. Rancher W.W. Brazil is the man who discovered the saucer.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
More people are coming forward with their own sightings.
Videos recorded by U.S. Navy personnel have added a new layer of evidence to the current national debate about UFOs.
Right at that moment, I saw what looked like 5 lights flying in formation in kind of an inverted check mark.
The NASA independent study team did not find any evidence that UAP have an extraterrestrial origin. We don't know what these UAP are.
The mysterious flying objects are still a mystery. NASA will continue investigating them and has appointed a director of UAP research.
Technology that we faced was far superior than anything that we had.
Truth Seekers, what's going on tonight? Hope everybody can hear me okay. And let me get a sound check in the chat tonight. So I think I got it correct, and I better have it correct. Otherwise, we're going to have Houston. We got a problem. But anyway, all right, sound check is good. Mary said everything is good. Appreciate it. Anyone else? So give me another sound check, a few others, and I will then get us going on to the show tonight. Everybody says, okay, we hear you. Okay, we're good. So let's get this thing going right now. And give me a few moments. All right now, so we're getting ready to get into a great conversation tonight. So I hope all of you are ready. And it is one of the things that we're going to be talking. We're going to talk about UFOs. We're going to talk about aliens. We're going to talk about secret symbols. This is something that I have been truly diving deep into over the last month or so to really get into it more of a personal reason, but also bring it into our contact free, because it's out there. Symbols are out there. They're right in our faces right now, and people are seeing these things, and we don't even have a clue of what some of this stuff are. So tonight we're going to discuss. I got a lot of questions. I got a lot of statements that I want to make, bring into fruition to talk about what's happening with this UFO thing, what's happening with alien abductions, why are we hearing about it now in the public, and what is the consequences of that for us in society based on religion. So we're going to deep dive into that as a conversation, and hopefully you can put your 2 cents in, 3 cents, 5, 6 cents, or whatever into the chat tonight, so we can do this as a group and pretty much. But like I say, I've been really going deep into symbols, and I think all of it is associated with the whole phenomenon of high strangeness, right? And we can get into those, and it's just some things that I have really figured out. We'll jump right into talking about the UFO side of things, the aliens and the aircraft, and what's happening out there with the Pentagon, and why are they declassifying UFO videos, but also still hiding stuff. And that's something I think we all should be asking ourselves, because I tell you all the time, I don't think people need to be focusing on how things are happening out there. We need to be focusing on why they're happening, so to speak, because it is important and it's essential. But the big secret keepers spend a lot of time trying to make sure that we focus on how things are happening. And that is the way to keep the public in the dark. Because if you start asking why, now in the Pandora's box open, now your mind expands like a parachute, right? It works best when it's open. Now you begin to go down those deep little rabbit holes that they don't want you to go down. And then all of a sudden you stumble upon hidden information. And this is important when they do that. So one of the things is, I will ask the question, if the governments have been aware of extraterrestrial activity for decades, why are they revealing it now? And that's a great question to really ponder on. If the last 70 years, 100 years, they have spent so much time hiding the phenomena, hiding the UFOs, hiding the visitations, hiding abductions, hiding technology that they have reversed from this, why now are they starting to reveal it? Well, I don't really truly have all the particular answers, but I do have my personal things that I would throw into the hat. And the question is why? And maybe it's what I've read a few years ago when an Israeli prime minister, this guy right before Trump left office, he said that the extraterrestrials, the aliens, the beings behind the scenes have already decided that it is time for humanity to know about them, to know about their existence, to rattle the ship. Now, of course, we know that there are species upon species of extraterrestrial beings from other galaxies and other places. So who is making that call? I don't know. Could be, I don't think it's the reptilians, because we know they feed off negative energy. So we have heard. We know that they like to shapeshift and stay in the dark. We've heard. So is it the benevolent ones, right? The ones that are out there supposedly be the guardians of the galaxy. Maybe they're part of the Galactic Federation, and they're saying that it is time for us to help humanity. Now, do I believe any of that BS that they're here for humanity and they're here to help humanity? My answer is simply, hell no. I don't believe that. I don't believe that they are here to help humanity. Not all of them. Because if that's the case, we wouldn't have some of the craziness of things that are going on a daily basis with a D right at this very moment. But now there could be, though. There could be some of them say, well, these humans are sinister. These humans are barbaric. These humans can't be saved. Because after all, how many times have we been flooded out? How many times have we been intentionally wiped out of creation? How many times times we've read stories of the great start over, the great reset, that some of these extraterrestrials, Anunnaki, all of the stories who have said, let's get rid of these ants and let's start over. So that means that everybody's not in our corner. So that's a question that I will ponder upon. You can ponder upon, and we can think about it. But other than that, I think just anything else, the question I would ask you.
Strange to you?
Yeah. Does it seem strange to you? When we talk about that, we can talk about alien abductions. That's another facet of what we got going on. And I think that's important to truly think about it, right? Alien abductions. We're talking witness testimony reveals consistent patterns in abduction experience. Make no mistake about it. It's real. People are being abducted. People are being visited. People are being contacted. People are being terrorized by some of these experiences. And there's people who think they have been enlightened by some of these experiences. So the spectrum is broad when it comes down to alien abductions. But the question is it really happening? The question is, are these encounters real or a product of human psychic, or human imaginations, or people imagine these things? Because after all, we hear, okay, well, they're wiping out our brains, or they're wiping out the memory, or they're doing all these things. But actually, is it true that people are being abducted? And if so, why hide the fact? Now, okay, we can go all the way back to the Truman deal. We can go all the way back to the treaty that was signed by President Truman that says, you know what, you can abduct a few of these extraterrestrial, can abduct humans. You can do that. You can come and get our American citizens. Just trade it off for some technology. Get all you want. We got plenty. We got millions of them. Take many as you want. Do what you want with them. Stick them in the butt. Whatever you want, you can do. Just trade us a little technology. Really? That's what they're doing, and that's what they're done. So from that, we have to think about, are these experiences that people are experiencing real? And why wouldn't they be? I mean, if we're at a point today in society, if any of you that's listening to me, or you got family and friends, if they're looking up to the sky tonight or today in today's society, and they truly think the only thing is up there is heaven, we have a mental problem. And dare not that be somebody you're in a relationship with and you're a truth seeker. Because, man, I'm telling you, that's a barrier. That is a huge gap in the relationship. If when they look up to the skies and they see heaven only, or think heaven is there, and you know that their life extends beyond the stars, the galaxies, and we know that there's other species supposedly out there, as well as living here, as well as interdimensional and walking among us today. That is a huge literary gap when it comes down to that relationship. So those are things that you want to think about. And if that's the case and you're in a situation like that, I just want you to know, for me, I wouldn't do it.
Hell no.
I wouldn't do it. It couldn't go down for that, because it is just too much at stake when we're getting down to a situation. Let's talk about media blackout. Let's talk about, for years upon years, I just said it, mainstream media have dismissed UFOs as a conspiracy theory. It's been one of the biggest conspiracy theories out there, which also, I think that on the other side of that fence is that somebody's saying that we need to normalize this thing and get people adapted to the fact that aliens are here and they exist. Okay, so if you didn't know, let me give you my background. I've been doing this thing for quite some time. And so I'm just not speaking to you from somebody who is an enthusiast at this thing. Okay, I been on Regina Meredith, Gaia Open Minds, talking about the extraterrestrials. I've been on George Norrie Beyond Belief. I've been on Coast to Coast Radio. I've been in the Discovery Channel hosting a TV show. I've been on Fox Tubi on a TV show all about aliens, forbidden knowledge, and doing their Black Knight satellite. I got actually an 8-episode on Forbidden Knowledge TV. You're talking about History Channel, feature with the ancient aliens, then Roswell, New Mexico, and the list goes on and on and on. So I'm not just here talking to you because I'm just enthusiastic about it, and which is cool. That it has to start there with the passion. the passion has to be there. And I got the passion, but I also have the literary knowledge of telling you that a lot of this stuff is BS. And a lot of stuff you hearing out there is BS, and they are throwing us a bone like a dog in the wrong directions to keep us from looking at the truth, what is really happening. And it's happening in real time. And we'll talk about that the second half of the show, because I'm going to get into symbols and symbolic things that are out here right in plain sight that affect everything. And there is a tie all the way back to creation of extraterrestrials landing here. And man, all this stuff is connected, every single part, secret societies, and you name it. But the other part is, why the sudden shift toward serious reporting? And if you don't think about it, and if you don't think there's any truth in that, go back and look at what we're talking about. We're talking about News Nation, CNN, Fox News. You're talking about the New York Post. All of these people, that there used to be headlines of UFOs being a freaking joke. People were ostracized. People were talked about. People lost their jobs. They were stripped of their titles. They were stripped of their sanity because they believed that UFOs exist. Little green men. You remember, this was the whole, just 10 years ago, little green men was the biggest joke of it you can get into. You know, I remember on Clubhouse when I did the show, and there was one guy who came and attacked me really bad. He started talking about Roderick with this tinfoil hat. He believes in aliens and UFOs. He had never mount up to nothing. Whatever. He didn't have a clue to what he was talking about or anything else, but he came at the brother, and rightfully so. He could do what he wanted to do, you know, but at the same time, I showed him what time it was. I sure did. I showed him what time it is. And right now he can go back and look at this video, and it's 10 times different. But what I'm saying is, Little Green Man was a cool thing not long ago. It was crazy. People would say, think about yourself. How many of you probably 10 years ago, if somebody talked about UFOs and aliens, and you would have probably brushed them off? Hell, Beyonce could have walked up to some of you and said, hey, baby, I'm Beyonce. Well, she didn't have to tell who she is, but the whole point is, I believe in some aliens. And you be like, I'll take that crazy shit. I'll take that crazy shit 7 days out of the week. You give, maybe. Now, I'm not saying if somebody else approach you, it'll be a different story. But the whole point of the matter is, it's out there and we have to look at it, correct? All across the board. Another part is the Fermi Paradox. Now, we're going to do a lot of shows on that in the future. In fact, it is in a lot. I'm just pulling this out somewhere. The Fermi Paradox, if I'm not mistaken, I talk a lot about that, or it's not me, but it's in the Book of Sacred Secrets, if I'm not mistaken. I remember right across the board. And this here has most stuff. And first of all, thank all of you who have purchased this, and man, and I've just been getting a lot of reviews in the emails and stuff. But yeah, there we go. So there is part that we're going to talk about the firmament, and we're going to get into this in one of the videos and talk about the biblical cosmology and the firmament. But again, if it's something that you want to do, then you should go ahead and get your book of the Sacred Secrets there yourself. But anyway, so because all of this is connected. Everything's connected. All of this is connected. And the part about that is, with billions of stars in our galaxy, where is everyone? That's the biggest question. Where the hell are they? If they're here, where are they? Now, the story is they're hiding in plain sight. The story is there are civilizations walking right among us. And the story is there are civilizations walking beneath us. And they found that living inside the earth is the best and the most safest place to be. Now, I don't know. I would think being outside in the weather and the sun, but who knows? You got so many movies showing that we got just as much as life and elements within the earth than we do on the outside of earth. I mean, okay, maybe that's it. But the whole point is, where are they? We know that something else exists in everything else. Now, the question is advanced life rare? Are they avoiding us, or are they already here undetected? That's something for you to think about, especially when you come down to this firmament thing, because we're talking about advanced civilizations. They have to be. And when you think about the Earth has not been around that long time. The Earth is a young planet. It is a young civilization. We are the latest and the greatest of the minds. In fact, human civilization is growing faster than a lot of these other beings and stuff from their past. And that makes us so much interesting to a lot of the extraterrestrials, is how we are growing so fast within hundreds of years. And you got to think about it yourself. Although we take reality for, I would say, just as nothing, we're not grateful for it, I don't think, but we just take reality as though it's some simple thing. But just really move back the clock. The other 2 weeks ago and next week, or not next week, 3 weeks from now, I'll be on an airplane. I'll be on a plane flying to Miami to the Conscious Awards. But just 100 years ago, hell, there was just ducks up there. It was just birds moving around up there. It wasn't planes and stuff. So imagine how far we have come as human civilization within 100 years. And imagine where we will be 300 years from now. And technology is crazy. So when you think about the Fermi Paradox with billions of stars in our galaxy, where is everyone? How come we can't see them? Or why is it? Now, when you think about the 9 planets and everything, our Earth and Saturn, and we have our own solar system. So there are said to be tons of different suns out there, each sun representing different parts of the galaxies in the universe. So we're just in one small pittance of it all. And it gives us the example that, hey, there's a lot out there. So we'll look into that. We could talk about religious revelation. Now, this is by far the most important factor of disclosure when it comes down to telling the truth, because the landscape as we know it will probably change 10 times over when the truth comes out and people begin to ask the questions. And there's no difference in then us as being now, we all would probably turn into kids and get curious enough and ask aliens, well, how did you get made? Who made you? What is your sexual organs? How do you reproduce? And how do you, because we will ask those dumb questions. But at the end of the day, we're talking about religiously, because that has been the control mechanism throughout the sense of time. Religion has been the most powerful component and well-played game plan that has ever been put up on mankind ever. Okay. And whoever thought about it, and it wasn't humans. It wasn't a plan of humans that said, we're going to put religions together to control the other people. No, someone else taught the game plan and taught them the book and said, here's what you're going to do. Here's what's going to work. And if you follow my instructions, you're going to be rich, wealthy, and powerful, and you will rule right underneath us. I guarantee you. Because if you start thinking about all of the secret societies, they all go back to extraterrestrial. They all goes back to symbolism. They all go back to the hiding the ultimate secret. And then when you take the Vatican, who's over here by themselves, the Vatican controls it all. They are the big secret keepers, or the biggest of the big secret keepers, and probably well-deserved the most high paid. They're the highest paid because they're protecting everything. They got everything under control. The Vatican is not playing. They got the secrets. They got the banking system. They know how to put all this stuff and implement things. And that's why it all rolls down through them. But if you go back to some of the headdresses, you go back to some of the meter, what the Pope wears, and go back to the Dagon and the fish gods and all that, this stuff goes back to extraterrestrials. It can't help. But anyway, that's another conversation. You know, we don't have to go through that tonight. We can talk about a lot of other stuff tonight, and pretty much we can go into the disclosure agenda. What about that agenda? Because our government's preparing the public for open contact with extraterrestrials. We alluded to that a little bit earlier. Is there a plan? Is there a situation, as we would call it in the community, that they are figuring out that we need to prepare the ants for total domination, or maybe we need to prepare them for the disclosure, the truth, or anything? And what would it be? So we already heard the Vatican says we're going to say that everybody worships Jesus Christ anyway. They already got their plan. They have a playbook. They're like, well, that's just how we're going to alter the plan. We're going to, we're going to alter it in their favor. But what is the deal when it comes down to the disclosure agenda? And if anybody tells you that they know every single piece to that puzzle, run and save yourself. I'm not saying there's some highly intelligent people who have some great hypothesis when it comes down to this thing. And maybe they can come up with a good, solid theory from based upon those hypotheses. But I don't think so. I think there's a lot of them out there that we need to really pay attention to. Now, the good part would be the collective of all of this. The good part would be putting together all of dots of what everybody else is saying, connecting the dots. And then we can get a broader picture to say, okay, the alien truth is what they're saying. What they're talking about is possible when it comes down to that, until your ass get abducted, right? And then whatever more than what everybody else know. But what would be the societal impact of such a revelation? And I got to thinking about that. I got to thinking, Roderick, what would it happen tomorrow, Saturday, July the 6th? Let's use that as a day. If the 5th, I'm sorry. If the alien, it'll be the 6th. Is it? Yeah, today's the 5th. So what would happen if you think when this thing evolves out and then just come out and they tell everybody? If they come out tomorrow and they say, ladies and gentlemen, we want to activate the broadcast network. We want to activate the broadcast network, and we want to tell the public something. What happens on the very hour when that broadcast stops and they just said they are here, and they use that type of language? Now they're going to try to puff it up. Well, we talk with their leaders. They come in peace. They're going to have to say that. That's the first thing going to come out of their mouth, because there are going to be some assholes going to be like that movie in Independence Day. They're going to go up to the top of the building and they're going to hold their sign. Oh, they're opening up, before that beam blow them up. There's going to be a few people who's going to say, maybe I can wrap and breed one of them. And I would love to have some alien stuff. And there's going to be another group that's going to go get their guns, knives, and everything else, and they're not going to play. They're going to shoot anything in the sky, anything that's airing. And you're talking about a calamity there. And why would that be a problem? I don't know. Because if they got the advanced technology and they open up a can of whatever, there will be a problem. There will probably be a big problem. But the whole point is, what do you think? Think about the question. All of you that's listening, what do you think will happen 10 minutes after, if they came out, and they're doing it, by the way, they're doing it slowly but surely, but we're talking a profound announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 hours ago, we were contacted. We were contacted by a civilization named, Kick Behinds. That's the name of their whatever. Although they're named Kick Behinds, they say that they come in peace. And they assured us, see, they're going to use this word. They assured us that we have nothing to fear. Now, why the hell we got to hear that? Why don't we assure them, if you get off that ship, we're going to take care of some business with you? If you come any closer, we're going to shoot you down. If you come any closer, we got a problem. Why don't we tell them that you better not get out that aircraft? But no, they're going to have to assure us. And that's going to be the problem. That's going to be the problem. I'm telling you. I'm just saying it. So let's talk about cosmic evolution. If life exists elsewhere, does it follow a similar evolutionary path to ours? That would be a big question that I would ask. I mean, I got time for this other stuff. I want to know how long you live. What? 1,000 years? What? How the hell you pull that off? You pay child support? Oh, you don't pay child support. How the hell you pull that off? I mean, asking some real questions. And you want to know, is there a path? You know what I'm saying? Is there reincarnation? Is there life after death? You got to have all these cosmic fucking questions that you want to know. And then you'll start asking them the greatest one of all. How come we broke, or they got money and I don't have the money? What do I know that they don't know? Right? I mean, you're going to start asking questions that's going to change. Or do you have broke aliens? Do y'all have, the projects on the planet X? You want to start asking questions. I mean, I know it sounds weird, but you should. And what if we find out intelligent beings are vastly different from us in nature and origin? And when that question is there, it begins to change everything. Because when we find out they're different by nature, and we already kind of can figure out origin-wise that they're not from the same place, and we begin to say, and then they start saying, yeah, back on our planet, everybody, we don't use money. Back on our planet, food is free. Back on our planet, there's no one overweight. Oh, there's no cancer. There's none of these diseases in our planet. We eradicated all that. We are harmonized and we walk around peace and love. What do you think happens next? Everybody on this planet is going to try to get off and get a ride back with them. You know what I'm saying? And then they take 16 million people with them because everybody think they're going to a better place and all they did was coming for some slaves. Really? You'll fall for that one? I don't know. We don't know. But that leads me to the warning of all of this. Some believe alien encounters are a message about humanity's destructive path. People say it all the time. And I get it all the time. There's people always talking about, well, Roderick, the humans are just so bad. Well, there's some good ones, right? There are some good humans out there. Some of y'all, some good people. Humans, they just don't understand that we have to ascend. Okay, whatever. But there are some good humans. I'm not saying there are some honest Aves everywhere, but there are some good humans somewhere. And I think there's something that we can think about. And are we been given a chance to change our ways before it's too late? Because you talk about ascension, you talk about, before they come, or the return of Christ himself. The story is there. But you talk about now, Galactic Federation, they want to know if our mind, are we going to ascend, or are we going to be better? That's all over the place. It's been there from day one. And people talk about that. Oh, the human race. And they're all part of the collective. And if we all not ready, you ain't ready. And you ain't individually cherry picking people, right? So, all right, that's another story. I would definitely touch bases on hybrid agenda. Because you got abductees that report encounters with human alien hybrids all the time. And when I was on Clubhouse, we had a lot of people that came on and said that they had hybrid babies. And the ones that could not look like us, that could not fit in, were taken back to the spacecraft, where every now and then the mother is allowed to go visit her children. And there was a few people, like I said, on Clubhouse, and there's some of you probably say now that you got some hybrid babies. You saw it in a dream. And how real is that? Let's talk about that. Is that a real dream? But the fact that hybrids exist, now it makes sense, because see, I can go biblical on this one. I can take you all the way back to Genesis. I can take you to the first book of, God made heavens and the earth and blah, blah, blah. I can take you back to God's being plural, right? We can go in the book that says, let us make man in our image, and God said this, right? We can go back to the true Hebrew meaning that God in Hebrew is Elohim. And Elohim, or El, is a plural God. So Elohim, let's make man in our images, in the likeness of ourselves. Elohim's is plural, multiple gods. We can go all the way down that fence and decide that why they, the purpose is, what do they look like? And then we have to then figure out, what if we look like them? See, that's the solution of that part. When you start looking into the word is the word, because that's what they said. I've learned in church, the word is the word. And when the word says what it is, you got to go with it. And if the word says, let's make man in our image, in the likenesses of ourselves, with an S, then that's the word. So while we thinking about hybrids, it's going to look like some Bigfoot, or hybrid's going to look like something else. Hybrid could be possibly us looking just like them, because if they're going to walk among us, and if the angel said that the children or the ladies and men made it with them, and they are trying to make us look like them, so that they can walk among us and we wouldn't know it. It makes perfectly sense. So, and if you want to go look more virtual with it or reality wise, how many of you got children? Raise your hand. How many in here got children? Raise your hand. And what if a stranger walks up to you and your child and look at little Rod right there and says, boy, to me, man, you look just like little Rod. And I'm going to correct his ass. No, I do not. He goes, yeah, you look just like him. No, I do not. I fucking made him. He looks like me. He looks like me. And I heard that from Bishop Jakes one time. I was in church. I just go to the pastor's house, and he was talking about how his brother, who looks like him, rides around on a motorcycle and everything else. And his brother is younger than he is. And people always say, well, boy, Bishop, you look just like your brother. And he was like, no, he looks like me. He's second in line. He looks like me. So that is the theory of us looking like them. So make no mistake about it. So while we're sitting here looking for little green men and we're looking for all of the intangibles, what if somebody you know, or somebody you dating, or maybe your school teacher was an alien? I'm not, that's not far-fetched. See, 10 years ago, I would be cuckoo. 15 years ago, I've been crazy. 25 years ago, I've been straight jacket for saying that just now. But today, I'm an influencer. And the possibility is endless when it comes down to the truth. I'm telling y'all right now, the possibility is endless when it comes down to the truth. I'm just telling you. So when you talk about hybrids, are these beings part of a long-term plan to integrate with humanity? Absolutely. I'm going to go with that. Right off the bat. I'm going to go with, are they intentionally have a plan? Absolutely, they have a plan. They have been having a plan. See, the problem with our thoughts and thinking is that we only think in this linear time of 50 to 60, 70 years. So we can't think. But when you got an alien that's living for 1,000 years, then he can take his time working on a fucking plan. He can take his time, or he or whatever species can take their time raising global climate up 1 degree every 10 years. We ain't going to see that coming. You know how they talk about the story of putting a frog, and you want to take you take boiling hot water with bubbles, and you throw that frog in that water, he's going to jump out, boom, immediately. But if you place that same frog, they have tested this, by the way, I'm not making this up. They put that same frog in the water and gradually elevate the temperature over time. He doesn't even know it's coming, and he boils to death because he didn't see it coming. That's what happens to us. That is happening to us. Whether it's global warming, they're doing it right now, whether it's all these other stuff. Man, I'm telling you, the plan. Let's go to the cover-ups, because today we got whistleblowers. We have whistleblowers, and I know I'm on it tonight, folks, because this is something that's well been coming. These are things that I just want to talk about, and I'm just blurting through them, but they all tie together and they make some freaking sense. The cover-up, whistleblowers claim that there are a massive conspiracy to hide the truth about aliens. We didn't need whistleblowers to tell us that. So why are they letting them come forward? Now, I've said this before. We have people like Tim Burchett and all these other people that are pushing the narrative of saying we're out for the truth. I think the American public needs to know. Do you obviously think, are we that damn stupid that when they take his ass to the back room, the big secret keepers, and they show him a piece of paper that has every location of every alien on the planet, the same guy that's in our faces telling us we're going to get to the bottom of it, we're going to get to the truth, they got to let us in, and they show him the actual addresses, 202 Butterbean Street, 9201 Jackson Street, where all the aliens live, and they don't turn that paper over, and that booger says national security. Do he have to shut the F up? Yes, he's going to shut up. And he's going to walk back out there and tell us nothing. But yet we going to vote for these people. We're going to put money behind these people as though they are the Messiah of the truth of what we're looking for. And it ain't going to happen, folks. The game has changed. They're changing the rules, but the game of disclosure will never go away. I'm telling you. All right, we may get a little closer to something. We may find out that there's 10 doors and we know what's behind 3 of them. Or you think they're going to come back and say, y'all missed it because there is 4, 6, 7, and 8, 9, 10 that you don't know. Let us just open it up and you just come on in and now you can find out. Oh, yeah, we you did ask. You don't even know. Heck no. They don't play that. They're not doing that. They're not going to do that. So the game of disclosure will never go away. So we got to continue to seek the truth for ourselves. This is why I don't stop with that stuff. This is why I'm disconnected from some of the other ufologists and they're all chanting happy for disclosure. I'm not saying we're not making progress. I'll use that word. I'll give us that. We're getting tidbits of things that we wouldn't have known. But if you're talking about the core truth, they ain't telling us sugar, honey, ice, tea. Take that to the bank. I guarantee you, take it to the bank. Because the question is, who benefits from keeping this information secret and at what cost? The benefit is money. Money. Okay, I've been ridiculed before when I say, okay, pay me $5 billion. They ain't telling y'all nothing. No, Roger, you gonna sell out for $5 billion? Please. Please. I will walk in, have amnesia, and tell my mama I don't know who she is for $5 billion. But do you think my children and the next generation is going to be happy that I took one for the team and now their lives have just changed financially forever and they got islands and planes and butlers and shells and because their great-great-grandfather Rod, there's pictures on that wall up there with the gray hair, said $5 billion to tell his audience that the aliens are fake? The 30,000, no. 20 million, yeah, I'm not going to sell out like that. 5 billion, I'll consider. In fact, I will reach out to some of y'all and say, hey, I need about 10 more people, a couple of million each to join me live so we can all say it's not true. Who's going to be with me for another 10 million each? Put your hands in the chat. Give me 10 people who will join me from the $10 billion. And I'm now saying we're going to spend $100 million on you guys to join me in the deception, because what I'm pointing out to you and what I'm trying to point out to you, they're doing it already. They're doing it for less amount is what I'm really trying to say. That's the analogy that I'm trying to put together. Well, all right, Poor Bud said me. All right, I got one. I need 9 more. Who would join me? Couple of million, you got 5 billion, 10 million. I'm in. See, you get what I'm saying? Philly Cat says she's down. This is reality, people. This is reality. You get what I'm saying? And this is how Penny says I'm with you. Astro Anthony said I'm in. You get what I'm saying? This is reality because that is what is happening. They're paying these folks off. And you think we're going to hear? No, they got enough. You got contractors. Let me give you a system before I go further. We have, Toby said, hell no, I want to know if they're privileged. For $10 million, you're going to be at the dinners with the privileged, Toby. You're going to be called when you reach the millionaire status. You're going to be invited. You're going to know the true answer to that. You're going to get behind the curtains. You're going to go see the Wizard of the Oz, and they're going to pull back the curtain when you're on that other side of financially. I'm not saying the negative part. I'm just saying the reality is what it is. Because if they're saying we're going to have a meeting and it's, $10,000 a plate, you can be there. $10,000 a plate right now. I ain't coming. Some of us ain't coming. Charles said, I'm with you, brother. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Come with me. Come with me on the soul train of the journey. But let me give you an example of how this works. And think about what I'm about to say. I want to open your mind to this. Think about what I'm about to say when it comes down to the money. Are y'all with me? I'm glad you are. So picture an aircraft of an alien of some kind crashes in the Mojave Desert. And by the way, some of these are real occurrences, by the way. We get our military, Navy SEALs, swimming ducks, whatever. They rush out there because we have public paid, the money that you and I pay taxes, spotted this thing through a radar system that we developed years ago that there is something falling, and it did not originate from an airport around the globe. It came from the stars. We rush out there with our Navy SEALs collection retraction team, whatever we want to call these swimming ducks, Navy SEALs. They grab this freaking aircraft or spaceship and the occupants too. They grab them both. They take them and spin them, whisk them off into some secret location. Okay, there was 3 people from a town that saw them. They go over there, they threaten them, and they tell them, if you say anything, we're going to kill your dog, your cat, your bugs, and whatever else you got. We're not just going to come in and spray the roaches. We're going to kill everyone. Okay, so they shut them down. And if there's a person of power, they pay him off out of respect. Okay? They take this spacecraft that now belongs to us, by the way, because we're paying the government. It's ours. It's us. We deserve to know. We should get a bulletin and the email. Roderick, we just got a new craft. Do you want to come check it out? You tax-paying brother. And I'll be like, yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. But think about what I'm about to tell you. They take this spacecraft. Listen to what happens here in real time, people. I'm not making this up. As the great Kevin Samuels would say, you can't make this up. So they take the spacecraft in real time and they give it to McDonnell, Douglas, Boeing, or any one of these companies, right? They hand them the spacecraft. And here's what they do. We're going to give you this spacecraft, people, so that you can reverse engineer it, and I want you to build me a weapon. In the meantime, McDonnell Douglas and whatever says, okay, I will take it. Now, what happens when Roderick want to know about it? Well, because the law says that Roderick can do a FOIA act and he can ask us and we have to reveal it. But if you got it because you're a private entity, then you don't have to tell Roderick Sugar Honey Iced Tea or any of his truth seeker community. That's phase 1. And then he says, well, who's going to oversee? Now, because I gave it to you, the deal says that we're going to oversee the project, the government, the big secret keepers. So now we got new big secret keepers. You got McDonnell Douglas, you got them. So they're in cahoots together, big contractors. Now, here's the good part about this. Here's where it gets tricky. The big secret keepers tell his cousin Joe, by the way, and his sister Mary, I need you to go buy stock in McDonnell Douglas. Why? Because they're going to be on the advanced cutting edge of technology on a new release. What they're releasing, I can't tell you, but you go over there and you get stock and just get on the board. Everybody's, because now we're talking about money. How's it made? Because McDonnell Douglas is going to build a weapon and sell it back to the government who gave them the spacecraft. By our money, by the way. They're going to use our money. They're going to sell them back. And the deal says you not only keep the patents, McDonnell Douglas, you get the technology, and now you're going to go invent the new cell phone that you're going to sell for trillions of dollars. You're going to invent Velcro. You're going to invent, and you get the patents on it. It's just that, you know, we need you to build me a weapon. So now they have funded them in their generations, their families, their stock options, their people, their secret. They're making billions off our money. And most people, we don't even see that coming. We just still focusing on what they want us to focus on. There was a crash site. Who got the ship is where we need to know. What happened to the occupants? Remember, I said this all the time. What happened to the occupants in the ship, by the way? Where did they go? Because when you start asking who got it and why you give it to them and why come they won't tell us, then we get to a whole different ball of wax. So they take that chip, give it to McDonnell Douglas, they build a craft, sell it back to our government for billions of dollars, and then the government comes in and vote and come to us and ask us to sign a bill that's appropriate to give money, and we don't even know where the money is going. And don't worry about the homeless people out there, by the way. That one little bill can build huts and houses for everybody, you know, and feed gazillions people, by the way. But this is how it works. So the money is exchanging, and now you want to know why it's a secret. Now you want to know why they don't tell us. Now you want to know why you think that you want to know everything. Now you want to know why people are being harmed for this stuff. because it's not dinner steaks and steak knives is at stake here. We're talking multinational corporations. You're talking religious institutions. We're talking government entities, some that we know about and some that are operating in the shadows of everything that we have, that they will all defend the money by all means necessary, people. And that including stepping on roaches and flies of humans at any given point. And if you think I'm lying, you go out and try to figure that out for yourself. And that's where I was going. And this is why I tell y'all, we got to stay vigilant, and we just got to ask the hard ass questions and stop walking around here thinking humanity is, oh yeah, they're here to save. There's nobody here to save us, because the last people that came to save us, I would think maybe something happened to them. Maybe because if you think about it today, have you ever seen a UFO stop for gas? Anybody? Have you ever heard a UFO, extraterrestrial ship, spacecraft, pull over to a gas station when it visited Earth and refueled and left? No, because they use some type of free energy that we either know about or hiding or don't, because no matter what wars are fought, no matter what is going on, they're still buying and selling oil to each other, no matter who it is. Oh, they can be bombing over here, doing this over here, but behind the scenes, they're still exchanging oil because it makes the world work. They're smart enough to know we can have war on the surface, but we're going to have collaboration below the surface, because it's a global commodity. Fuel, energy is a global commodity. And you think an alien who came here and says, I'm going to give y'all this recipe for free energy right now so humanity can get off fossil fuels and save the Amazon rainforest. Yeah, try to be that alien and see what happened, and find out why the next ones didn't come when they find out what happened to that one. Those crazy humans, I'm not going down there to save them. Okay. So that goes back to technological leap that I was just saying. Could contact with advanced civilization accelerate our own technological process? Or would it make us dependent on their knowledge? Well, we already can be sucked in with AI, artificial intelligence. But now you got to start really thinking about it. Artificial intelligence is moving at a phenomenal pace, but it's still humans, people. There are still people manipulating artificial intelligence right in our eyes. It can still tell us what we think we hearing from some superior intelligence than anything else. And this is why I got a whole new statement of stuff that I'm talking about, and I'll get to it another time. But this is why we have to begin to educate yourself. Your eyes are useless when your mind is blind. So you got to go study truth. You got to go looking for the truth. And I'm not just trying to sell stuff. This is why maybe I am trying to give y'all a little tease of message. This is why this one is so good. But of course, the sacred secrets, but we're talking hidden truths, because they don't want you to know some of this stuff. Because let me tell you why you don't need to know some of this stuff. Listen to me right now. Authority. This is the word I want you to grasp. Authority is what is, and appreciate it, Philly Cat. Thank you. And you all should be getting this thing. You should all, shame on anybody out here that, and I'm not saying it for everything else. I swear to you, if anybody who's gotten this stuff already started, it is unbelievable. It is unbelievable what's in there. And if you think you know everything, you don't need it, you ain't even ready for any half of the story. I'm calling you out. I'm just letting you know, and go find it somewhere else. I don't care, but I just decide to deliver it to you. But what I'm saying is this: authority. Listen to what I'm trying to say. Authority is what's driving everything right now. And I'm telling you from authority. I'm talking from an authority position. Hey, you should do this. And that's the influencer side. But the fact that I'm offering truth with the authority gives you the advantage of information, because they know society will follow authority as truth. This is why we're in the situations we're in now. There's so many people who can care less, but they will follow authority. They did tests. They walked up to people with ATM that they put a security guard, fake guy, in a security guard suit, and another person dressed, and these were thieves, by the way. And people were walking up and they said the ATM is not working. hand your money to him and we'll make sure. And people was doing it because out of authority. They did tests where doctors will tell you to shock somebody and they will shock them because of the code authority. People, truth should be authority. You get what I'm saying? We should find the truth and live it as our authority and not authority as our truths. That's why I've been on the rampage that I've been in. I've been doing it already. But anyway, that's the whole point that I was trying to make. And if you with me on that, you go with it. Natural Healing said they got it yesterday. I'm not playing. I'm telling y'all that is some serious stuff. Right? It's driven me to go and look up so much stuff. And it makes you wonder. And like I said, you won't find it anywhere. You'll find out where most of the people are learning. And that thing, it will take you can go through it within a day, minutes of switching. But if you start physiologically thinking of everything that's entering context, that is what it is. There's people here, I know they talk, they say they know. There's things they just don't know. They just don't know. And I'm not claiming to know everything, but I'm on a good path to going in the right direction. That's for sure. So I'm just letting you know, all across the board. We can go to spiritual awakening. Some see UFO encounters as a catalyst for personal transformation. So I get that all the time. I get people that be like, man, if I just want to see a UFO, or I saw a UFO, or whatever. And it is the catalyst to, it's like one of the statements I used to say, my job is to give you information that you can read, information that you can see, hear, to create the possibility, to open up your curiosity to the possibility that we're not here alone. And that's all I wanted to do. And that's all I try to do, is to awaken your curiosity. I'm not trying to tell you absolute, because absolute is not in existence in this phenomenon until we get the people themselves, whoever, the group of extraterrestrials, start to give us a lesson of life. But we can connect some dots, like I said earlier. But my job is to give you enough information and curiosity so that you can then take it to the next level for yourself. And that's all we can do. And we should be doing, is being curious about things. But it's been beaten out of us since we were kids. You remember when we were kids and we would always ask why? How many of you have told your child, stop asking and do it because I said so? And the kid is still trying to get a better explanation because what you're saying don't sound too good, even at me at 3 years old. And I'm still asking mom, why? Dad, why? And you finally hit the authority, not the truth, and say, you just shut up or go to bed, whatever, or I'm going to take this belt. Don't ask me no more. Do it because I said so. And by the time we get adults and somebody trying to tell you to do something, you can't go seek the truth because it's beat out of you anyway. I'm just letting you know. You can't. You have no truth. And remember, Billy said it. You got the worship gene, and they put all that stuff in us, man, on purpose. Cosmic diplomacy. How would we establish relations with other intelligent species? See, that's the whole thing too, because the other species are going to show up and they're going to say, we don't need money. So Elon Musk or Zuckerberg, we don't need your money, right? Because where we at, money doesn't exist. Money, everybody's equal. We have a King Arthur type round table. Everybody's equal to the most. And we don't do that here. And then you're saying, I got to, and Elon Musk says, you telling me I got to give up my servants? I got to give up my mansion and my yachts and stuff. And now the guy that's serving me the lobster over there, he's now going to live just like I am. Oh no, we're going to keep that secret a secret. We have to. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. It's the whole part. What about the genetic connections? Some theorists propose that humans have alien DNA. Now, some say our DNA has been altered 63, 61 times. that we have alien code. We talk about RH negative blood all the time. We talk about that Baskerville, whatever, that whole town that have extraterrestrial DNA. We talk about the bloodline of the presidents. We talk about the bloodlines of over there in British, you know, Elizabeth and all of those people. We talk about all of this royal I don't know, electors, and I'm just coming up with some stuff. Extraterrestrial bloodline, you know, I'm just wherever, my tongue twisted on all of it. It's so radical, but is there some truth in it? And there's easily that there could be two truths and one lie. And could we be the result of alien ancient experiments of hybridization programs? And if you think about it, and you go back to the Anunnaki, when they start trying to create the humans, and one of them said, hey, you know, Enlil or Inca, one of them said, well, I think it was a sister maybe, well, what you seek is already there. There was some type of Neanderthal type man here already before they even got here. There was some species of some type of bipedal type human walking the planet before they got here. They just improved it. So still we're looking for the origins based on ancient civilization stuff. Yeah, so there you go. And that's all I'm trying to say, is that we have to look at those things. All right, I want to make a couple of quick announcements real quick, and then we got a lot to cover tonight, okay? We have, Damon is in the house. I once thought he was a ghost. He disappeared. He left and all that stuff. And that is something that we will need to think about. Pretty much so. Yeah, we'll think about. Listen, here's some announcements that I need to make real quickly, and I'll get over it real quick. So as y'all know, the Conscious Award is coming up in 3.5 weeks. If you have not gotten your tickets, make sure you get your tickets. Come to Miami. If you get a ticket for the Conscious Award on Sunday, you will now get a free entry into the conference on Saturday. Oh my God, make sure you do that, right? All you do is show up at the conference with a receipt that you pay for your ticket, and they're going to give you free entry into that, where you're going to hear the women's panel. Billy's going to show some stuff, and he's going to show if I'm not mistaken, the premiere of the Anunnaki movie that he has out. All of it's going to happen during the conference. Make sure that you come to the conference award. Another thing is, listen to me closely, High Strangeness. You know, we've been working on our clothing line. I got a whole lot of new stuff. I got some professional designers. We're designing, some good artists and stuff. I need about 6 models to want to model some of the clothing line, shirts, and then coming up will be the winter stuff. We're going to make some women gear stuff and a whole lot of stuff, but I need some models. I don't need no bad camera. I need somebody who have a family member that can take your picture out in the sun, because some of this stuff is going to have front and back print. We got a whole new collection of styles of some stuff. I'm working on different things. So I need some models that you can turn the video. I need videos, and I need videos like this. Okay. Maybe not like this, you know, so you got to know how to hold that camera. And we're talking just, you don't even have to say much. You can just say, hey, I'm wearing my High Strangeness, whatever. And you it could be 5-6 seconds. We just need you to turn and show both sides. Okay. So we got a lot of shirts. They have different designs, and I got a whole bunch of new. I'm going to release a new one each month, maybe limited editions. We ain't playing with this thing, but I need some models to model it. If you want to, if you put in the chat, I'm not going to see it. As you can see, I'm looking forward. You know, you want to email me, whatever. Don't waste my time. I'm not going to waste your time if it's not something you could do. I will sense it out in a heartbeat that you're not going to follow through. All right. This is serious. And I don't want to call anybody out who says, oh, I'll be one, and don't follow through. This is serious business, folks. Very serious. Another part, the book club. Monica has been doing an awesome job. Y'all give her a round of freaking applause. She has done a good job. The first book club we did last week, you know, we had a few. Next week it doubled, you know, and you know, people are excited. We had some great conversations. I'm part of it. I show, you know, and everybody's there, and it's like a personal group of people. And if you want to be part of the book club, you go get your 400 ebooks. You go to the website, download it, It's $40 for 400, and we choose collectively from those lists, and we all talk about it each week. And it's been a wonderful thing, and we can do this endlessly and just really bond. And then we have other conversations that happen in there. So if you want to be a part of it, get your thing and then email me that you want to be part of it, because, you know, just because you buy it, some people may not, they just may want it, but at least you need to do that. So that's another thing, the prerequisite of doing that. The other part is, last but not least, we're going to talk about, I'm working on our first documentary coming up pretty soon. And we're going to be taking some donation of people who want to be executive producers of those documentaries. We will be working on different ones. We're going to form a LLC for each documentary, and then we'll have investors in each one. And I've already got distribution stuff that we're going to be working on where we can get royalties in the future, create some good stuff. We're going to do this. If that's something, you know, I haven't put the figures together. We're trying to figure out what it costs for each documentary. Let's say hypothetically, if it was 25 grand and we needed 25 people, or maybe 10 people, 5 people to raise collectively, and there are executive producers of that. And then, you know, we're going to give royalties of all what we're doing. So we're moving with that. So y'all let me know if that's something you're interested in, but it will be, you know, and like I said, we'll form an LLC for each one. So we'll have one for each one. The main company is How Strange Is Productions, but then each project we will do. So, all right, with that being said, we're going to get back into what we're talking about. And real quickly, I'm holding this up. This is the energy codes. I know a lot of you got this. This stuff is based upon the tree of life. This is real stuff. And so tonight, if you all have this, I'm going to choose one for some of you. I think we can do either freedom or love abundance. And what happens is when you print this up, this is real frequency code. You just place this under your pillow or under the bed, and it works, man. The vibrational codes work. If I can zoom in on it, you'll see it. It really has, okay, it's not going to focus all the way for y'all. The camera is trying to do what it do. That's fine. Okay, but anyway, so tonight, if you got this, I want all of us who had this already, I think we're going to do love and abundance tonight. Let's do a little love. We'll do the money code next week. I want everybody to print up the love and vibrational code for abundance, and then put it under the pillow tonight. We're all going to put it on the pillow, and we're going to come together with this one. And then a few days we'll do pure money or whatever. So make sure you all definitely get it. Yeah. Natural Healing said, get it. It's legit. Yes. Make sure y'all do that. So we're going to start working collectively, and we do this collectively with our energy and the codes. We're going to pierce this thing, man. It's going to be beautiful when it happens. All right. So let's continue. We're going to continue to, and there's a link in the description. If you decide that you want to go, we're going to continue to talk about the threat narrative. This is by far one of the biggest challenges out there. Some warn us that there's some type of hostile intentions when it comes down to extraterrestrials. And should we prepare ourselves for a potential invasion or attempt of some type of peaceful content or contact? So the problem with this, ladies and gentlemen, is once again, there's this group of narrative that everybody, they're come in peace and they're not here to harm us. And I still tend to go with Lou Elizondo. Okay, if you don't know what it is, look him up. He was at one point all over the place with A-Tip. The threat narrative for me is real because as he talks about the muddy boot print theory, meaning if you have your house, you secured it for tonight. We're talking about men or women, and you done turned on your alarm, and you wake up the next morning. The alarm is still on as armed, but yet you see a set of muddy boot prints that don't walk through the house. What do? So do you turn around and say, well, just because they came in, they didn't do nothing, so maybe All right, so let me know if you can hear me okay now. We had a little frozen light there. All right, so let me know. Testing. 1, 2, 3. If you can hear me now. All right, I'm back. So basically, I'm talking about the muddy blueprint theory, right? So if you wake up in the morning and you don't see these footprints, muddy boot footprints, big ass boot prints, that walk through the house, but yet you walk up, the alarm system is done. The windows are locked. Would that freak you out? Would that tell you that you need to prepare yourself for something? Or are you going to say, well, just because there was no attack, they didn't do nothing, I'm not going to go get my weapon. I'm not going to stand guard tonight. I'm not going to worry about what they're doing. See, this is what Lou Elizondo talks about. I'm with him on that. We need to be prepared. Because if they can show you that they can turn off our nuclear weapons like they're doing, and if they can show you that they can disappear in thin air and cloak, if they can show you that they got technology that's transmedia, meaning they can go from water, which we have nothing on the planet that can go from water with a propulsion system, go into the air, and then all of a sudden dry right up the space within seconds. We don't have that yet. And if they can show us they can do those kind of things, you don't think I will be worried if they decide to get upset because I didn't give them a coffee latte or maybe whatever? I'm just saying. It is something for you to think about. Because should we prepare ourselves for potential? Heck yeah. Preparation is everything. Preparation is everything. And a person in here right now, I don't know where you live, but you have auto insurance. You pay every month just in case you have a wreck. Preparation. And what's so bad about it, they force you to do it. It's the law in Texas. But you say, well, I ain't never had a wreck in 20 years. Well, we don't care about you not having a wreck in 20 years. We just don't want to deal with the court system and saying if you had a wreck tomorrow, you couldn't pay for the car that you hit. So therefore, insurance ain't about that. It's preparation. It's just in case. So I would love to have the insurance that my military or whomever could protect us from the ones that do decide that they want to get a little aggressive. I want to be ready for that. I want to be ready for that. Now, Lydian says, do we have anything useful? Yeah, we do. See, when you think about the stuff that happened in Roswell and all of that stuff, we shot some of those things down. We use weaponry to bring some of those things down. And we do have some weapons, because we are working with other beings. We are, but then there are some that can do something totally different. Go back to Admiral Byrd when he said the enemy showed restraint. You go all the way back when he said that, we had at that time, we went over there. That's when we was in for the uranium at the time, back in the 1930s or whatever. We sent our first powered nuclear submarine. We sent about 37 aircraft. We sent ships and everything over to Antarctica. And we told him, anybody who do not, confined to the will of the United States, you do something about it. Because at that time we was in a race with Russia, China, and America was all in the nuclear arms race, and we needed to go and get the uranium. But when we got over there and those UFOs came out and opened up a can of what on us, and within seconds we lost all of the spacecraft. It was 2,000 people. And within instantly, they didn't waste no time wiping us out. And he said they then retreated to let us go retreat. We haven't forgot that. So what can us regular people do? Well, regular people, all the thing we need to do is to probably act like this. That was some strange shit right there. And get out of there, right? You know what? Who knows what we could do at this point, because it is serious. I mean, you would probably arm yourself on a ground level, because at this point, there's some type of ground invasion or just whatever. I don't know, but I don't know what we would do. But let's talk about, he said, yeah, but we taking aggressive action first. Who shot first? Well, I mean, at this point, we probably did. Yeah, probably did. And I wouldn't think about it. The ancient astronaut theory, did extraterrestrials influence human civilizations in the past? Okay. Now, we've talked about that a lot. Billy is an expert on that. There's a lot of them out there, expert on the ancient astronaut theory. And I would assume, yes, especially when you think about the pyramids and you think about ancient structures that are still in existence today. And that's another thing that baffles me. We have a whole group of society who walks around and say there's nothing else out there, but yet to question who built some of these ancient structures that exist in all these places. And whoever built them used some more advanced superiority of type of technology, because it still stands today. And we got stuff that don't last that long. Their mark is there. They've been here. Now, okay, granted, we still have Mayan civilizations and all this stuff that have single-handedly disappeared and just walked out of the nation. So that is something there we got to think about. But other than that, that is something that we could think about. But could ancient myth and artifacts be the evidence to their presence? Absolutely. I truly think that could be the deal. Absolutely, that could be the deal. We can also go into the multiverse. Is there any infinite parallel universes? Do alien civilization exist in others? Now, that is something that has been coming more and more prevalent in the conversations of the multiverse. That we are several different dimensions, different timelines, all this stuff is in existence all at once. I'm not against that. I think it's some realism into that. I think there are some real coincidences in that the true existence of multi-universe is quite dimensional and possible, because now we're talking about time travel. We're talking about the past, present, future. There's just so many layers to what we have here in light energy and all of this stuff. I'm just saying, throwing some stuff out there, but it will tell me that could say that is it. Could we ever time travel between these dimensions? People, I think they're doing it already, and I think that happens already. The sad part would be the conversation of end of times. We hear that a lot. Some see UFO phenomena as a sign of impeding apocalypse. And is that going to happen? And we do have some people that think that that's what's happening with UFOs, that this is why they're here. We are in some doomsday, the end of times. And, that's been said a lot, though. We had all kind of reasons for that. So I don't know about that, when it comes down to this. But either way, are these events or warnings or triggers for the end of the world as we know it? Now, that statement right there could be twisted as the end of the world as we know it. Doesn't mean that the world physically ends, but it's a new world order. They've been trying to do that for quite some time. We'll get into that in the second phase of the show, talking about symbols in a few minutes. But a new world order, that could be the possibility of all that. That's what happens once you think about it. The artificial intelligence factor. Could extraterrestrial life be artificial intelligence? And how would this change our understanding of consciousness and existence? Now, if you think about time travel, then it is a possibility that we could assume that the extraterrestrials or could be some type of AI technology. Because at this point, the technology of them coming back is essential. And we already see the progress of technology of AI right now in where it is. And they've been trying to put a bottle cap on it, but they can't. Because the thirst for money is incredible. And so therefore people's always going to improve it to get on the upper hands. There's, Genesis or Gemini 1.2 to 1.8, Chat GPT 1, GPT 4, 6, 7, 10. And then you can still get 3, but you can pay more for 5. They ain't playing with this stuff. Claude AI, Claude this, Jasper. Everybody's in on it for the money and creating tools to better your life. So there's an AI revolution there. The military role is the other part. This is where we try to get deep earlier. Military personnel have reported numerous of encounters. And why not? Because if you are a visiting race, the first place you need to go and see how would they defend themselves. And so therefore you're going to hang around our aircrafts. You're going to aircraft carriers. You're going to look at our fighters. You're going to see how can they move as fast as we can move. No, they cannot. Can they go from 0 to, whatever, gazillion feet straight up, turn on a dime? No, we do not have an aircraft that can withstand the pressure of making a radius turn within zip, zip, zips. We don't have that. And no human beings who can live in their body can take such of endurance of a movement like that. So they figured it out real quickly. They're not afraid of our military. Then you think about the social impact. How would widespread acceptance of alien life change human society? A lot, I think, until it becomes normal, till you see somebody walking around the street holding hands with an 8-legged alien, or maybe a blue woman. Somebody get a blue woman. How cool would that be if she provide peace? Y'all remember the movie Fifth Element, and that blue woman was singing? It was pretty, right? She was doing an opera. Y'all remember the movie? Go see it. Bruce Willis played in it back in the day. Yeah. Go check it out. I'm telling you. So would it unify us? Would it create chaos or lead to a new era of corporation? I would say it's going to do all three. It's going to, now Sonia said a blue man. It's going to do all three. All three. All three. Y'all give a shout out to Sonia. She came here to Dallas to see her sister, and she drove all the way down here an hour to the studio. We hung out a little bit, and then she had to drive back. Gave her one of our t-shirts and all that stuff. She sent a picture. Oh, Sonia, you're supposed to send me another picture. But anyway, y'all give a shout out. We've talked on this show for a long time. Finally got a face with the name. Give her a shout out for coming by for a couple of hours there. Yeah. So ethical consideration. What are the ethical obligations toward the extraterrestrial? Do we treat them the same? Do we give them our rights? And how do you give somebody rights and say, okay, well, you have the right to remain silent, and they got a weapon that can blow your mind up? And so, oh, by the way, you can't drive past 55. If you do, we're going to write you a ticket. It's almost like the movie Powder. Y'all remember the movie Powder? The dude, you know, and he was so smart and stuff, and then he finally got pissed off, and he said, how long do y'all think I'm going to let y'all keep me here? You're like, how long do y'all think you are going to keep me here? You're like, come on now. Y'all know, y'all said I'm so advanced and all that, and you sitting here trying to lock me in a room. He's like, are y'all nuts? And walked up out of there. That was good. I'm telling you, it was cool. It was really cool. So should we treat them with this as equals, resources, or threat? That is going to be the logical question. Because you tell me I got an alien friend or alien gal I'm dating, and she said, well, you know, we can be like the movie Jumper, and I could jump you over to Italy right now. Or we can go get on a plane, buy a ticket, and fly. What? No, let's use your technology. Just go jump. Well, you know, they saying it's illegal. Forget them. Let's go. Jump me over to Italy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, what? Are they going to be equal and follow the law? Oh, no, they got to pay money. You got to buy an airline ticket. Even though you can fly on your own, you got to buy an airline ticket. Because why? Our airways are restricted by the FAA. Seriously? You think they're going to live by that one? Come on. Would you? You wouldn't. Okay, so the other part would be the power of dynamics. If the extraterrestrial are far more advanced, would they dominate or assist us? And what would you think they would do? If they knew they had the power to do whatever they wanted to do, would they dominate or would they allow us or assist us or whatever? See, that's a question ain't nobody talking about while you asking for disclosure. Why are you trying to figure out all of this stuff? Do you want to know once they unfold, or are they going to dominate? Because there's no more secret. And we'll get into that in a few minutes on secret society or symbols. I don't know. Damon says assist. I don't know. I think so. So we could talk about all kinds of stuff. We can talk about the scientific and medical advancements. Could contact with advanced civilization revolutionize our scientific understanding, our medical stuff? Could it cure known diseases? Now people living from 60 to 80 years old to 170 or 200. What if they knew that? What if they said, well, we're going to give you advanced medicine or advanced rehabilitation, or not rehabilitation, but you can rejuvenate a body part or something. Grow new organs in like this. Oh, you got a kidney problem? Go visit such and such and get a new one tomorrow. Oh, you're aging? All right, let's turn it back about 30 years every time you get 80. You know, what happens? Yeah, what happens? I'm just letting y'all know. Yeah. All right, so that's our first half of the show. We're going to now get into some stuff that I'm studying, which is symbols. Yeah, let me get my grapes. Get my grapes. Okay. Now, I have been doing some study. And I've been studying deeply symbolism. And but what I'm going to talk about tonight is to give you some baselines of where it all began that I've studied. And we're going to go over the basic stuff right here, from the dot, the circle, the arch, the cross, the vertical line, the line, and then we'll get into the square, the triangle, all of this stuff. So symbols that I'm starting to learn has a lot of hidden meaning, especially in plain sight. But it also, if you start thinking about back in the days, the gypsies and a lot of these people that was roaming the plains, going from city to city, they started using symbols early on to dictate to other gypsies that was coming through. This next town is a good town. Maybe you need to pass it up. Don't go there. You can make some money or whatever. But then you go all the way back to ancient civilizations. Everything was symbols. You go back to secret societies. You go back to what we may call a sparrow, and we call it a sparrow, but yet it has a name and it's very symbolic when it comes down to this. But we lose that translation over time. Typically, we just do, because it gets lost in what we call translation. It gets lost in time. So secret symbols are embedded in logos. I did a show on the Black Cube. It's embedded in architect. We talk about that now. Even product designs. Symbols are embedded. Now, the key to it are they subconscious messages, or are they intentional communication to those in the know? Now, like I said, I have really been studying this as a fascination. I'm ordered, I probably got 17 books, 17 different books on symbols, hidden signs over the last 3 weeks. I'm reading a lot of this stuff. It's something that I want to do. It's stuff that I want to talk about. It's part of our strangeness, part of our tagline. You may not believe it. because I believe that if you can begin to uncode the symbols and the symbolic meaning, then you could go in a direction and an understanding and see things in plain sight. And some of you may be part of some of these religious cults or whatever. And I'm not saying they're all the negative, because there's probably about 5,000 religious organizations, about 10,000. There's thousands. And we're talking the United States alone. They all got symbols. They all got messages. Now, we will say, well, Roderick, some people say, well, I've talked to people and told them what I was doing. They were like, man, you don't want to go there. What if you uncover something? Well, it's in plain sight. I don't even know if they really give a damn. It's in plain sight. I don't know if they give a damn. What I haven't done in a while, and it's time for me to do so. Right there at the top of the screen is the Cash App. If you find any value tonight and you want to donate to the show, because this is a public broadcast channel, okay? I do this full time, and I do it through sponsorships, different stuff. I try to bring this content. But if you find value, and that value to you could be anything it is, and I haven't done this in a while because I've been, getting the ebooks and stuff, trying to do what I call reciprocity. But it is the first of the month, and most of our, I know y'all probably saw the cutoff a while ago. That he was out there on a pole. He was like, I'm going to cut you off. And I said, don't do it. I'm live right now, and I will pay next Tuesday, like Popeye, the spinach. So, but if you could, and you want to donate to the show tonight, you can go ahead. The Cash App is up here. $ Why the Big Secret is also scrolling across the bottom. If you find value. Okay, so let us get into another part. And we're going to start with some of the basics. And then we'll get into some questions and answers of stuff. When you start talking about symbols, you want to understand the basics anatomy of the symbols and the true meanings of them. And this is where I had started, and I began. Now when I look at them, I can kind of decipher most of them. Yeah, and like Damon says, eventually read crop circles and all that, because they're all symbolic. Okay, they're doing that. Let me check into who am I going to think tonight. All right, y'all give Sonia a shout out for her contribution. Appreciate it. I appreciate you, Sonia. Thank you very much. And I will thank anyone else if you want me to do so. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start with right here is the dot. Okay. Now we're going to go over a little bit the meaning of it, but the dot may seem to be unassuming. But this little thing is the first mark on a pristine sheet of paper. You got to think about it. In this case, it's the beginning and it's the ending of a sentence. So, but just to see what happens there, the dot is an essential component of structure of a sentence. Therefore, the dot is both the origination and the conclusion, encompassing the possibilities of the universe within. So when you think about the yin yang, we'll go over that in a little bit. It has a dot. It has those things. Okay. But the dot, like I say, is the point of creation. For example, the place where the crosses intersect. If you went to intersect, there's going to be a dot there. We may just see the line, but there's a dot. The dot is also called the bindu, okay, which means drop. You've seen this on a lot of different cultures. The bindu is a symbol of absolute. And some people mark it right there on their forehead, where the pineal gland or the third eye. And the presence of the dots within a symbol can signify the presence of something. So a dot in the center of the Star of David, we'll go over that in a little bit, marks the quintessence, the fifth element. The decorated dot surrounds the doorways of the temples. So when you start thinking, like I say, symbols like the Jain symbol or the yin and yang, they deliberately, and we'll get into the circle, what that means next, but they put a dot in there to represent something. Okay, so I want you to know. So yeah, y'all give Sonia a shout out. She's the only person that have contributed to the show. And like I said, I appreciate it. If it's just her, that's fine. Let her be the hero of the night. I appreciate it. But there will be a time that I won't be doing this within the next couple of months because we will be funded. So I'm just surviving until then, and I would appreciate it, and I will, be ready to bless back people. All right, so the next thing is the circle. Now, this is real interesting because this is the logic magical symbol. It is effective, and it's an expansion of the dot. The circle represents spirit and cosmos. Okay, so I want you to think about this. There's a lot of secret symbols that they add the circle to. And you remember the Da Vinci one that I was talking about. The Da Vinci one encompassed man, and then it had the square, which was the symbol of Satan controlling. And then it had the circle, which was the indicating the spirit of man was encapsulated. It was caught. All right. So further, the circle itself constructed from something is what they call an unbroken line, and nothing, the space outside the line. So there itself has great strength. Think of the cylinder shape of a lighthouse and why they built it that way. See, all these things are built off of symbols because of what the symbols represent. So once again, the circle unifies or represent matter, and it represents the spirit. And once again, that the circle itself is constructed of something. Okay. Now, the physical and spirit strength of the symbol is there because it's the perfect circle, has no beginning and no end, and it's unsellable. So the power is the reason why the circle is used as what they call magical practices. So think about when you see spells and practice, they put a circle around everything. And they put the candles or all the symbols within the circle because it has magical things when they do this circle. And that's why it's encompassed in a lot of symbols. And you think about, go back to ancient men, you think about the sun. That was the first time we recognized the circle. And we recognized the circle at night for the moon. So the circle, when it first came out, was designed or divine as life, right? And so now we call it the God or Jesus or the energy source or whatever. But it was a circle that we saw. And then at night, then the moon. So that was another representation of lunar cycle. So we'll get into all that. But once again, it goes down to this thing. The next one is the ark. Okay. Now, the ark perhaps is one of the most prominent of the natural world, which is in what we call the exclusive form of a rainbow, which primitive man saw the bridge between the heavens and the earth. You have the archbishop, you have archways. When you start looking at temples and all of these things, the temples all have an arch because that was a symbolic meaning to where you were entering. And as a part of that circle, the ark symbolized potential spirit. The position of the ark is important because upright, because this ark has two things. So if the ark is this way, it's the position of the ark is important. So upright is shaped like a cup, or I'm sorry, if it goes this way. So if the ark goes back this way, now it's a chalice, it's a cup, it holds something. So it has a whole symbolic meaning when you see these symbols with this way, and then they have a dot there, and I'll explain all that. I'm learning. But it's the feminine side. That arch and symbolic stuff is feminine if you get the meaning. All right. So, but if the principle of something that has contained the spirit, and if the principle of something that contains the spirit, if its arc is inverted, then the opposite is true, and it becomes arc inverted. Then the opposite is victorious, masculine symbol. So this way masculine, this way feminine. But once again, you see this in a lot of symbols. So I'm giving you the basics of each symbol. We talked about the dot, the circle, the arc. We're going to get into the vertical line next, the meaning of the vertical line. And then also horizontal lines and the cross and all those things. We'll get into that. And yeah. So the vaulted arc can take the form of an archway. The vaulted arc can shape of many holy buildings, and from great variety of different faiths represent the vault of heavens. Now we get into the vertical line. Just the simple vertical line has a meaning. Man alone in the animal kingdom stands upright. So the vertical line represents physical symbol of number one, man striding towards spirit. This simple line is the basic shape of the world tree and the accents of Mudai that connects the heavens, the earth, and the lower regions. Is not only the basic phallic symbol, but also signifies the soul, and survives the union with the divine. I bet you didn't know that all of these little marks that you're making every day has magical, symbolic meanings. And when you stroke and put all this stuff together, it forms a identity. The horizontal line is the opposite of the vertical line. And the horizontal line represents matter and forward and backwards movement of time. And this line signifies the skyline, the horizontal made the place on earth. Okay? It does that. Then we got the cross. We all seen it. It's in the red cross. It has a meaning. The cross is the vertical and horizontal lines come together to create an entire new symbol. When these two lines, this one up here, the vertical and the horizontal, come together, then it represents the cross. It comes to a whole different meaning. And it creates a whole new symbol. And this arc, or these, of course, are the countless different types of cross when you get to this. And we will get into that a little bit another time, though. We move into the square itself. It's said to be the first shape invented by man. Now you think about this. The square was the first shape invented by man. And it represents created universe and opposed to the spiritual dimensions depicted by the circle. The square represents earth and the four elements. Plato describes the square like a circle as being absolute beautiful itself, and like the cross, the square associated with the number 4 and has 4 corners to speak of 4 corners of the earth. People, they didn't just make this stuff up. This stuff has essential meanings. And if all of us is not really interested in finding out what symbols mean, and we're walking down the street and you seeing this stuff and don't even know, and you walk into an area that you should be turning around, or you joining an organization that sounds good, but on the hand, they got a logo that's designed to send out a message that you have no way of knowing unless you are part of the ancient culture or the inside scoop that you can decipher this thing. I thought it was interesting. I'm doing a lot of that. A lot of our content is going to be on symbols in the future. I'm just intrigued with what I've been discovering. And we're going to go on a journey together. But you're going to find it right here. I'm going to break it down. Yes, we're going to break it down. The other part of this is all the symbolism of the number 4 is encompassed with the square, and it has interesting note that just the square represent the created universe. In the Hebrew faith, the holy name of the creator is comprised of 4 letters, so the number 4. And then you have this Lunzi, this particular symbol. We don't even got to get into that. That is a overlooked symbol, but it is the symbol of genitalia when it comes down to the female at that. The Pisces and the doorway through which spirit entered the world. This is the symbol. And they use this in a lot of stuff. We move to the triangle. Oh my God, is this as lethal as it can be when it's turned upside down or upside right? The triangle shares the symbolic significance of the number 3. So you got this is 4, this is 3. And it's the Holy Trinity. It's all of this. Now we got the diagonal, and we can go forever. I'm just going to stop. y'all not paying attention to it. Nobody cares about what I'm talking about tonight. Y'all don't care. Because if y'all did, you'll be like, yeah, man, we finding value. I'm going to give me another grape. Yeah, I got a whole bag of grapes right here now. I got some grapes for y'all. Yep. I got some grapes. Whole bunch of them. Just sit it over there. Well, I'm going to blur my camera out. So. But y'all don't care about what I'm talking about tonight. That's cool. I know. I'm talking about symbols and stuff. Y'all don't want, yeah. It's all good. I just thought I'll show you some stuff. I thought I'll tell you some things. Especially when you come to, see, when you come to this symbol right here, it's the triangle. It means something. It's got the all-seeing eye. It's got the circle of light around it. They don't make this stuff up for a reason. It is a reason to why these symbols are put here. With the lines, with the circles, the dots, the archways. It's a reason. And then it ties into other stuff. And we're going to go through stuff like this. Like I said, I got 16 books this high. And I'm just so freaking intrigued. We're going to be talking about it. So our future, now the triangle is not the vagina. But this one is, the ankh is. S for female, yeah, but also now they're using it in other areas though. Yeah, so we're going to talk about that. That is my future. That is what I want to do for the next years to come. I want to do documentaries on symbols. I want to talk about thousands of them, everyday symbols. You know, I'm just so intrigued in that. But I want to bring us some stuff. I have some stuff I discovered that I will share with you someday that will blow your mind. Will blow your mind. Yeah. Okay. We would do that. Let me put up on the screen for those of you, if you have not had an opportunity. So let me just go there. If you have an opportunity and you want to make sure you get your book of secrets there. And yeah, I'm studying some symbol stuff. I'm going to make some symbol books specifically that really we should be concentrating on. There's a bunch of them out there. There's a bunch. There is some that we're going to do a whole show that's going to blow y'all away. But we're going to be doing that. And that is, like I said, that is something that I think is pretty cool. All right. So far, no one's want to be one of our models. No one. And you know what? I need to do this on Forbidden Knowledge because our audience is a little fickle. I'm going to do that on Forbidden Knowledge because there's more people and they really, due to Billy, they are really in there. I got to do a better job to get y'all more. All right. But anyway, there you go. Yes. Symbols are used in advertising. I made that discovery. I got a bunch of that stuff. And thank you, Sean, for buying the Book of Secrets. Appreciate it. You should get the vibrational codes too. You won't be disappointed. And it's just real short, but you can print it up endlessly and use them over and over, the vibrational codes. Symbols are used in advertising every day. See, think about our chakras. The lowest chakra is red, if you know that. I'm starting to find out in Symbolic. This is why KFC and Jack in the Box, all these bad food companies have red in their logos because it is activating our lower chakra. They want us to eat it. And we don't even know that we're drawn to it by the programming of the magic of the symbols and colors and all of that. Yeah. I'm telling you. Oh, Sean got that one too. Cool. Appreciate it. I appreciate your support, Sean. I know I didn't let nobody down on that deal. So I'm going to put this over here. So we're going to get into some questions about symbols. Now, like I said, symbols are hidden in plain sight. Let me do that. And They could have subconscious messages and intentional communication to those in the know. And I think so think about it. So let me give you a more real-time part of this symbolic stuff. Imagine you in East LA, okay? And you get lost and you walk into some of the gang areas and you don't understand the symbols that's drawn on the walls, and you don't know where you are, and you wear the wrong colors or in some different areas. That's how they mark territories. That's how other gang members know not to go stray into another neighborhood, because once they start seeing the symbols, they know who rules that neighborhood. And how would these people understand how to do that? Well, they're using one of the greatest form of communications, symbolic. So you walk your butt in the wrong direction, you in trouble. Yeah. So there you go. You have corporate occultism. Some symbols have roots in ancient mysteries and occult practices. We know that already. And our corporations harnessing their powers or we think it's anesthetic. So when I did the thing about the show of Saturn last week or a couple of days ago, yesterday, I put the video up from one I did on Forbidden Knowledge, which got 20, 30,000 views and maybe 600 over here. Okay. But I'm talking about the black cube. I'm talking about Saturn, all of these companies, and Saturn is Satan. And then they disguise it under the black cube of Saturn. Okay. Which is everywhere. But all these companies have it in their logos, and they know the connotation. They do fucking group studies. They know when they're designing this stuff, what they're trying to do. We don't. And then once over generations, we don't have a clue. So the power of symbolism is to tap into our subconscious, evoking emotions and associations, and we don't even have a clue that it's happening. So you think about the Fasy. Remember the Fasy symbol. The Fasy symbol, which was used in a Planet of the Apes. And everybody remember the Planet of the Apes, where he broke the stick and he said, one ape, you can break the stick. But a bunch of apes working together is strong. So in the Planet of the Apes, which I now know the movie is us, we are the apes, we, the humans on the Planet of the Apes, when they made that series and all these things, they're talking about us. And so the symbols, okay, of the Fasy, meaning those all working together. It's a Roman symbol, by the way. It came from Caesar, the Roman. When he would conquer these towns, he then said, okay, each town will fall under the Roman jurisdiction, but as they all work as a collective, the Roman Empire grows stronger and stronger. Go look up the definition of the Fasy, and you're going to see it's a group of sticks with a rope, and then it has an axe head. The axe head symbolizes God, the power or the whatever you want to call it, the retribution of God is what they did with this symbol. Caesar and all of them in Roman would carry it because it represents the power of everybody coming together. But if you go to the history of the United States and you want to know who really runs this country and how we use the Roman system financially, go look at the Speaker of the House room. Go look, it's there. They have two Fasy symbols in our American culture, in our everyday cultures, representing the power of conquering people or people being conquered coming together, is the representation of our government institution. And it's sitting there when the president speaks, there's one on this side and one on this side, and nobody asks the questions of what it is except for the people who watch it, who knows it and know what they're saying. And this is why you think there's two sides when they're all controlling us together. That is what it is. I'm telling you. I should get a donation on that alone. Amen. We have a church. I should. But that's all right. It's all good. I'm working not to be asking, It's all good. But I'm saying you should be paying attention to that. You should be paying attention to it. That's all I'm trying to say. And it's in plain sight. Right in front of us. It's in plain sight. Now, the power of symbolism taps into, like I said, our subconscious. And these companies are manipulating our desires and beliefs through subtle visual cues. They're doing it every single day. They're doing it. And if you're going to decode these messages, some symbols have multiple layers and meanings and open to interpretations. Let me see if I find, you know what? Hang on. Let me get the Book of Sacred Secrets, because this one has a lot of symbols in it with meanings. And the same one like I put on the cover of this damn thing, so y'all can figure it out for yourself. Now this right here, I don't know if y'all can see it with my fingers, but there's a symbol with a circle and a dot, and you see that everywhere. The circle and dot it represents the soul, because the dot is the beginning. And remember that circle is the spirit of endless spirit. So when you see those things, that's what they're saying. And when you see the triangles or the Star of David, or like the stuff that I talked about the other day, symbols are everywhere. From astrological, from the zodiac to all of this, they're all symbolic. It was the way to decode everything. And then they continue to put it together. This is why you see in Christianity, you see all the different stuff. And you, a lot of people don't know it, but this is in the Book of Hidden Truth that I have. Most Christian people will follow. I'm going to write the symbol out for you right now. Okay, how many of you seen this symbol on back of cars? Right? You've seen this symbol on the back of cars. Let me know. Anybody seen that? This symbol, you've seen it. It represents Christianity. You've seen it on back of people's cars. They're driving around and everything else. Anybody agree with me that you've seen that before? Yes or no? Okay. Let me give you a little history with that one. And you can look this up yourself. In fact, it may be in this one. Yeah, it may be in this one. I'm going to talk about it for you. And, okay, there we go. Sean says Jesus the fish. How many of y'all think that represents Jesus the fish? I'm finna enlighten y'all ass right now. Just going to get a little bag up, something to show you. I can do it without this because I already know it now. But how many? Okay, Jesus the fish. All right, so let me enlighten you all some meaning of this. And you can look this up, and then you're going to be like, oh my God, dude. Let me make sure I hit you right where you need to be, where you can understand. All right, that's not that one. Not that one. Okay, anyway, I can explain it anyway, but I was going to try to get you some visualization that we have in, is it the Hidden Truths or the other one? I'm telling you, we got so much good stuff, man. It's incredible. Okay, I think it's in this one that I have. Let me just make sure. If not, I'll start explaining to y'all right now. So bear with me here. All right. So like I said, let me look in the chat. Some of y'all say fish, the Jesus fish and everything else. All right. So if you go back into time, man, I know I have it in this one because it is profound. Okay. I think it's right here. Yep. It's right here. All right. So let me go into it a little bit. All right. So the fish symbol right here is the Jesus symbol. But what I want you to do some research. And I want you to go back to this person right here and look him up. He is called Dagon. Dagon is the fish god. Okay. Dagon And if you go look at the Pope right now in the Vatican, the Pope wears a hat called the mitre. And it's like a dome if you think about it. But if you turn it to the side, you will see that it's split and it has a dot, an eye. If you turn it to the side, it is actually a fish head, which is the Dagon god. Okay. Dagon god was half fish, half man. And the Vatican worship Dagon right today into the end of time, the Piscean fish. But the Christians have now seen the fish as a symbol of Jesus, what it is not, but we do it every day. They weren't around. I was Christian. They're doing that. Now, the interesting part of this that I think we should look into is the Dagon tribe of Africa. The Dogon tribe. I'm sorry. I said Dagon because it's real close. The Dogon tribe of Africa, you go look them up, and their symbols that their god is the same freaking Dagon that the Pope in the Vatican has been worshiping that turned into the fish for Christianity. How is that so? How are we not talking about the African civilization? The Dogon tribe has the same God, which why would they be called Dogon Dagon? So obviously they're related at some point, but they leave that out because they don't want you to know. It's in these books. It's all of that. It's right there in front of you. But go look it up. So look up the Pope, his headdress. Look at pictures, turning it to the side. It's a fish head. It is a real fish head. I wish I can find a picture and put it to you now. It's a real fish head. But they worship Dagon. Dagon is the fish god. And then that fish god is pulled down into Christianity, and people thinking on the back of their cars, they think it's the symbol of Jesus, and they have no freaking clue. It has nothing to do with that ever. It never had. Never had. I'm sorry to break the news to you, but you can you can prove, you can Google that and prove it to yourself. You don't even have to believe me. Go Google it and you will find out. I hate to rock the boat. That's why I think it's time for us to learn a lot of stuff. And all of this knowledge is in these books. That's why I laugh at the people who think they want to be here, they want to know everything, and you give them the first. Ain't nobody offer this stuff out here for us like this. And they're not gonna do it because it's a no-no. And but that's cool. But go look it up. Look up Dagon, look up the Pope, look at the headdress, the mitre, turn it to the side. You're going to see pictures. It's a fish head, the same exact as Dogon, Dagon, the fish god. And then this is why it all boils down to Christianity, to Jesus from the Vatican. And now the fish symbols driving around on people's cars, and they talking about what would Jesus do, and have no clue. It's a fish god, and the same fish god from the African tribe who knew where Sirius be without the technology, who knew where the star system was because they were visited by extraterrestrials, Dagon himself, and it's their implication of Dagon, and yet they leave that story out, but yet the Pope, the Vatican, has taken that, and it rules all the way down. Yeah. There you go. All right, there you go. See, Philly Cat just sent a picture of I'm going to show y'all right now. Look. Okay, y'all see my phone? You can see it now with this camera. So let me make sure I can zoom it down. And if you turn that to the side, it's the fish head. And there's other shots in there that you can find that will have, there you go, right there. It's blurry, but maybe the focus, but y'all can see what I'm talking about. It's the fish head. Yeah, it's right there. And if you look up Dagon and you Google Dagon, you're going to see it. Dagon, the fish god. Right here. Boom. Okay. So here's a picture of Dagon. Turn that same Pope head over. It's the same one. I'm just telling y'all right there. And you go back to the Dogon tribe, and you're going to see their old ancient paintings is the same fish god, Dagon, an African tribe, way out in the middle of nowhere. All right. But that's symbolic symbols, man. I'm telling you. We have symbols in subliminal advertising. And can symbols influence our behavior, purchasing decision without our conscious awareness? Yeah. See, I want to, even out of symbols by itself, I really want to build a design for our whole community. But I really, for some reason, I'm intrigued by the Fasy symbol. And I think we do need to come together. We do need to work together. And I think it has a meaning for that, incorporate some of it. I really think we need to. I think that, create our own culture and stuff. We really do some stuff. Yeah. Let me see if I find that real quick, because I want to touch on that. And let me flip through so y'all can see what I'm talking about. But let's flip through here. Let me bring it back some. There we go. But there's the Fasy symbol that I need to flip through so that we have what we are looking for. And if I passed it, I'm not going back now. I'm telling you that. But I don't think I passed it. I shouldn't have. I may have. But anyway, it was in here. It's all in here. But anyway. So the Fasy symbol is something that I would love to incorporate into some type of symbolic thing so that we could understand the truth of working together. And then we can do that, And but anyway, that is something that you all need to there you go. And you can download it when you want. But anyway, so that'll be something that we need to think about. Like I said, a Fasy symbol and that represent the power. But what about us putting out together our own power and then having an understanding of working together? Oh yeah, it's in this one. That's why I remember now, because it's a whole story on that symbol. So anyway, symbols are everywhere. If you start thinking about, there's a symbol that is the lightning bolt. Okay, so here's the Fasy. So let me go into this. Okay, this was in the book of Hidden Truths. Okay, it's not the book of Secrets. So I'm sorry. That's why. But you can go to the website and you can get either one. Okay, my bad. But anyway, in the book of Hidden Truth, they talk about the Fasy symbol right here, which means unbreakable. It's a bundle of sticks tied together, and the Fasy is a bundle of rods and axe. And it comes from the ancient civilization. In governments, we use the axe. The axe symbolizes the final cut, the power of Caesar, which is absolute. And they talk about God is worked at. So if you go to, even right here is a picture of Barack Obama. Maybe I can zoom a little more. But in the House speakers, they got two Fasys on both sides. And this is right here in front of the American government. Okay. Every freaking day, they sit this thing right in front of us, and we have no clue, but it goes all the way back to Caesar and man's law. So I think we should put our own symbol, one in particular, and we should use this as a community coming together when we do our own secret symbol. We're going to make one. I don't know when, but we're going to make one. We're going to make one. So, all right. So that's part of that. Now, like I say, you're talking about Illuminati connection when it comes down to symbols. Conspiracy theories claim societies use symbols, religious symbols in business. Even secular companies incorporate symbols in religion. The art of deception. You're talking about some of these symbols are designed to mislead, obscure the truth, and our corporations hide the unethical practices right in our freaking face. The symbols of spirituality, language, power. There's a lot. I can keep going, but I'm tired. I think I'm going to get ready to get out of here. We can talk about the dark side of symbols. We might just do that at another show. Because there's about 30 things that I want to, you know what? We're going to do a symbol show. Probably do that Monday. We'll go deep into it Monday. All right. So first of all, how we doing? Like I said, for any of you, it is Friday night, and we're gonna get ready to get out of here. We was gonna do some Freaky Friday and stay all night, but I'm tired. And yeah, still have my knee problems. It's kicking my butt. But I've been getting around a little better. I bought a knee brace, and that helps. I start therapy on the 18th, so I have to deal with this pain until the doctors see me. It's like I can go to emergency, they'll give me a pain shot or something, but I don't even want too many of those. But other than that, I'll go to the rehabilitation and the knee doctor as a new patient on the 18th of July. So I have to wait. Oh my God. I don't wish this on nobody. So whether you overweight or not, your knee is your knee. Okay. There's no joke. And so you have to truly do that. I want to do a Freaky Friday, Damon, but you want, if we do, I'll have to cut this one off, start a new one, but you want to come on? I'm not going to be on my camera by myself. And then I want to stay on some topics of what we're talking about, some alien stuff, symbols. I'm going to talk about Freaky Friday for symbols, though. You know, but if not, well, I tried some Creighton, and the CBD didn't help, nothing at all. And I'm not even smoke weed, none of the CBD. I didn't try THC or nothing though. None of that. But the brace works really well. I took it off now because it's uncomfortable sitting here, but to go do some walks and stuff, I can put it on, and it's been really helpful from there. But next week in Houston, if anybody in the Houston area, Billy will be down there with the Anunnaki premiere, and I'll be there, and I'm going to be introducing them there. So I'll go down to Houston on the 14th, next Sunday, and then I will come back, and then, like I say, we will be, oh, shucks, I know what I needed, and I didn't mention this. Oh, fuck me, man. Okay, listen, here's what I also need. Now, I need y'all to put some, I don't know how we can do it. We can put on social media, but I need to post on Instagram that I need to find a blogger. Listen to me. I need a blogger who lives in Miami area where I can get them access, and I'll get their tickets to the Conscious Awards. But I want them to be there filming all of my introductions as I'm walking around, talking to people, the book signing, all of that. If they know what they're doing. I don't want anybody to say, I'll just come and I'll do my camera. And they don't know about audio. They don't know about, making sure the right angles are there, because this is very important. But if y'all know someone there, maybe we can work out the details. Maybe it's I don't have no big budget for it or nothing like that. But if y'all know anyone that it may be somebody is a camera person, but they have to be a blogger. They got to understand the purpose and understanding what we're doing. And have their own equipment too. I'm not going to bring my cameras there, but it could be a vlogger, because video vlogs. They got to understand what's going on. But I would love to have someone there, and I would get them in. I would get them. They probably won't be able to get to the cruise thing. I'm not the cruise, but the ship Saturday night. But they'll get up to the ship, unless I get it okay with be like, hey, can they come on, because they're filming this content. But I want them everywhere I go. Come to the hotel on Friday, when we're out, if we're out getting something to eat, I'll pay for the food or whatever, but they just there filming it all. So we got to have a bunch of discs, and if I got to get the disc, we can make sure our memory cards. But we're filming, get the content, and then eventually get someone to make it into, some content. So when I'm meeting greets, talking to people, sitting there for breakfast, just whatever, I just need someone to film all of that. I saw it last year. Mike Rashad and 18 Keys, they did it last year, and it was great. They had their people there, somebody there filming. It was just a beautiful thing. I'll make a special shirt, was our thing, but I don't know how to post all of that or how we can find people. It'd be better if somebody lived in Miami, and then they can just come back and forth. They don't have to stay at the hotel or that area somewhere. And then they can just come back and forth each day. Now, like I said, I'll get them into the Conscious Awards, get them into the conference, and they're just there filming. And then when we're not filming, we're watching. So we would do that. So maybe we'll make a post or something. All right. So, okay, with that being said, we're going to do a video probably Monday or Wednesday on symbols. I'll go deeper into symbols. We'll talk about it. I'll pick a few that we will go. Because we can go a couple of hours again on this stuff. I got it all written out to do, but I'm tired. I'm going to get ready to get out of here. All right, pretty much. Now, I wouldn't go to Fiverr or WeWork. I need someone who will be there on location. You know, I want somebody to... be there on location, so Fiverr, they'll probably want to do a video. I don't know, but it'll be, I would look at somebody who has like a vlog, or they post a lot of Instagram and they do little stuff and you see them in the Miami area. So I don't know how you can do a hashtag or whatever you can find video on Instagram and in Miami area. So if y'all know how to do that, text it to me for those who know, where I can start searching and watching people doing content and maybe reach out to them and say, hey, can you do this for me? Hopefully they're in a conscious community and they know about forbidden knowledge. They want to meet Billy in person or something. I'm going to make all the promises and make it happen. And then they may get to meet a lot of other people and get their business taken off if it's something that they do or whatever. But we're going to do that. So we can find some people to do that. We will. But again, I want somebody who understands. I don't want somebody, I got an iPhone and they walking around and they just missing angles and tapes and there's no audio. It's just a bad day. Yes. So, you're saying like I can do that in Fiverr or something? But they wouldn't be making videos, right? They'll be making videos for you, but I don't know if, we'll look it up, Monica. Maybe you can help me with that. But yeah, maybe we can look it up and see. And pretty much, I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, because I wouldn't want nobody to fly in and then they're paying hotels or I'm trying to help them with that, and it's $1,000 and flights and all that. That's why I'd rather have somebody local, and then we can do that. I appreciate you, Israel Talks. Yeah. Mika is late, but we're about to get ready to get out of here. Yeah. Yeah. Peggy ran off CBS News article. Yeah. All right, so we're about to get out. I'm going to get out. We've been here 2.5 hours almost, and usually we've been here 4 or 5 hours, but I'm by myself, and I didn't want to be here by myself. And then I got to watch what we talk about too. We would do that. All right. Good night, y'all. Y'all have a good one. I love each and every one of you. And like I say, to my haters, if you're here all the time hating on me, you're really not a hater. You're really a fan. You just criticize a lot higher than normal. That's cool. I love you. I don't want to meet you. But like I said, if you can hate on me and I don't know you, that's fine. But I can still love you without ever meeting you. And like I said, if you come into the Conscious Wars, we're going to do a meet and greet. You got to come. And if you're going to buy the ticket, like I said, you can come the other day for free now, so they're offering that. So you have to do that as well. But anyway, it's been a plum, pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. And just good night to each and every one of you.
Why did Ruby shoot Oswald? Was there a conspiracy?
In a world shrouded in darkness and obscured by deception from the big secret keepers, a burning question ignites in the hearts and minds of truth seekers. Why? Let's dive into the abyss of the unknown. Challenge the limits of our understanding.
This bizarre sequence of double killings raised great questions. Who actually fired the shots that killed Kennedy?
Pierce the veil of secrecy.
Cattle found dead and the manner of their deaths are a real mystery.
Anyone who is concerned about lead in the drinking water in Flint.
And venture into the realm of conspiracies and extraterrestrial evidence.